So, we're going to talk about pyramids today. First, we're going to look at a square-based pyramid. Now, a square-based pyramid is called a square-based pyramid because the bottom of the pyramid, as you might guess, is a square. That's why it's called a square-based pyramid. Now, a square, of course, is a quadrilateral that has 4 equal sides. So it means that this side's 12, this side's 12, this side's 12, and this side's 12. Now, a pyramid would have 4 triangles going up from each of these sides to connect to a point. So that means that this right here is a triangle. This in the front is a triangle. On the left side, that's a triangle. And in the back, that's a triangle. So a pyramid is a combination of a square and 4 triangles. And if we fold it out, it looks something like this. We would have the square in the middle, and we'd have 4 triangles coming out of each side. And the triangles, in the case of a square-based pyramid, the triangles would all be identical. Okay? So that means that if you find the area of one, then that's the area of every single one. So you could multiply the area by 4 to find the area of all the triangles. All right? So we have a square-based pyramid here, and I want us to draw a net diagram of it and determine the surface area. All right, so in the middle of this thing, we are going to have a square, and then we're going to have 4 triangles shooting out of it. Doesn't have to be fancy. Okay. Yeah. What are the sides of the square? 9. Yeah, they're all 9. So that's 9 feet. What's the height of the triangle? 24. Excellent. I mean, you can draw it on all of them if you want. 24, 24, 24, and 24. Now, we're going to find the area. We did triangles yesterday, so triangles are really straightforward. The area of a triangle, and we call these whatever we want as far as labels go. You might want to call this left, right, top, bottom, just because of the relative position to the center. And you could just call this, I don't know, you call this C for center. It doesn't really matter. I don't care what you call them. You could call them A, B, C, D, E. As long as there's some kind of labeling that's going on, that's good. Okay? So the area of the top, it's a triangle. How do we find the area of a triangle? Remind me. Excellent. Base times height divided by 2. So that's 9 times 24 divided by 2, which is 108 square. Well, I'm not going to put the units in. I'll put the units in for our last answer. So there's 4 identical triangles. So the left would also be 108. The right would also be 108. That should be an A, my apologies. The bottom is also going to be 108. So once we find the area, we know the area of all the individual triangles. Then we have the center. The center is a square. How do we find the area of that square? Nine times 9. And 9 times 9 is 81. Excellent. And if we add those together, we get, I believe, 513 square feet. Please correct me, though, if I mess that up. So that's the surface area of that pyramid. Okay? So, now that's a square base pyramid. Okay? That's a square base pyramid. We could also have a rectangular pyramid. And and you can have all different kinds of pyramids, quite honestly. You can have like an octagonal pyramid where you have like an octagon as a base, and every side of the octagon goes into a pyramid. We're not going to go into crazy stuff like that. But a rectangular pyramid is similar in that it's a rectangle as the base. So it's not, so in this case though, the difference is one big thing. The triangles aren't all the same. Okay? The triangles aren't all the same. There's a different height for the triangles. There's two that have the same height, and there's another two that have the same height. So there's two pairs of the same triangle, but they're not all the same. Okay? So that's the difference with the rectangular pyramid. So let's go ahead and draw a net diagram of this rectangular pyramid and then figure out the surface area. So here, we're just going to draw a rectangle. Here's our rectangle right here. Then we're going to go in and draw our triangles. What is the length of the rectangle? 15, thank you. And the width? 6, thank you very much. If we label this as top, bottom, left, right, that's not an R, and center, what would be the height of the top and bottom triangles? 25, excellent. Oh, I see I'm doing that in red, so I'm going to be consistent. 25 centimeters, 25 centimeters. What's the height of the other two triangles? 30. Excellent, thank you so much. So now we're going to find the area of each of these pieces. So area of the top is base times height divided by 2. So it's what times what? 15 times 25 divided by 2. I think it's 187.5 square. Is that good? Square centimeters? Cool. Which one is also 187.5? The left, the right, or the bottom? The bottom. So the bottom is also 187.5. And we don't have to include the units until we get to the answer, so I'm going to erase them. So the top and the bottom are the same. Now the left and the right are also the same. The left, so it's going to be what times what divided by 2 for the left? 30 times 6 divided by 2. What might that be? 90. Excellent. So 30 times 6 divided by 2. The area of the right would be what?
Can you repeat that?
The area of the right,
187.
this right here,
Yeah.
would be what?
187.
Nope. 90, it's the same as the left. Thank you. Now, we're going to do the area of the center. 15 times 6, you betcha. And 15 times 6 is also 90, just by coincidence. Cool. All right. Add them up together. No, I'm sorry. That we did. We absolutely did. This is just a really poorly drawn C. Okay? So if we add all those up together, what do we get? 645. And the units would be centimeters squared, and they are. So that is the area of that pyramid, surface area of that pyramid. Okay? That is a rectangular pyramid. Okay, that's a rectangular pyramid. We are also going to look at formulas that will deal with both these types of pyramids. So here's the formulas. The square pyramid's a fairly straightforward formula. It's base squared plus 2 times the base times the slant height. Okay, so I just want to go over what these are. B, because it's a square base pyramid, B is the length of the base. S is the slant height. So if you were to take a ruler and measure from the tippy top of the pyramid down to the bottom, but in a straight line, so not like this or like this, but straight down like that, that's the slant height. So
the S is like the slant height?
Yes, the S is the slant height. So the surface area formula is B squared plus 2BS. B squared plus 2BS. Okay?
Is that B like B times S?
That's right. It's 2 times B times S. Okay? It's 2 times B times S. Okay? And the rectangular pyramid's a little bit more complicated because the length of the bottom is not all around the same. And these formulas will always be provided to you, or you'll have the luxury of a study sheet where you can put them on there. A rectangular pyramid, its area is length times width plus A times L plus B times W. So let's talk about what each of these things mean. Length times width. That's the length of the base times the width of the base. When we have A times L, that covers the triangle that's in the front, because A is this. I can't use S for slant height because there's this one and there's this one and they're both going to be different. So this, I just called it A. So it's A times L. We would divide it by 2, but we have to remember that there's kind of like the front and the back. So we don't have to divide by 2 then. So A times L means the front triangle and the rear triangle. And B times W means the right triangle and the left triangle. In pretty much all of these surface area formulas, all we're doing is multiplying and then adding, right? So we just need to make sure to do these things in order, the right order. So if we use those formulas, in part A down below, is it a square base pyramid or rectangular base pyramid? It's a square base pyramid. So the formula for that would be B squared plus 2 times B times S. What's B? So it's 7 squared. B is still 7, so it's 2 times 7. What's S? 20. Thank you. There are 3 things happening here. There's an exponent, there's addition, and there's multiplication. What comes first?
Exponent.
The exponent. So what is 7 squared?
49.
You betcha. Sometimes people make the mistake of just going 7 times 2, but that's not what a square means. The square means you're multiplying it by itself. So it's 7 times 7, which is 49. And then we have 2 times 7 times 20, which is what? I got 280 too. So it's 280.
Okay, 49 times what?
280. So if we combine those together, what do we get? We get 329 square feet. Now look at how I wrote this. You can write it like this, or you can write it like this. They both mean the same thing. They both mean the same thing. Either of them is perfectly correct, okay? They both mean the same thing. Okay, that's the surface area of that square base pyramid. Beside it, we have what kind of pyramid?
Rectangular.
Rectangular pyramid. And the formula for that is length times width plus L times A plus W times B. And if we're looking at which one is which on the diagram, that's your L, that's your W, 30 is your A, and 35 is your B.
What is that right there in the center? L times what?
That,
No. The right.
That's a plus sign.
that's a plus sign.
No.
L, ooh,
Right beside that other L. Not that one. Like
Okay.
On the right side of.
Times.
Oh, is that a 9?
this?
No. Right there.
Sorry, it's an A.
Oh.
That's an A.
It is an A.
That looks like okay.
It's okay.
Width times what? 9?
B,
Oh.
width times B. Okay, so once we write out the formula, substitute in our numbers and see what we get. So it's going to be what times what?
13 times 7.
13 times 7 plus what?
30 times 13.
30 times 13, sure. Plus what? 7 times 35. So we have a whole bunch of multiplying and a whole bunch of adding. What comes first?
Multiplying.
The multiplying. So please make sure to do the multiplying first. 13 times 7, what might that be?
Another one.
Yippers. And 30 times 13 is what?
390.
You betcha. And 7 times 35 is?
245.
245? Cool. Thank you very much. Awesome. So we've got 91, 390, and 245. And now we're going to add those together to give us the surface area. And the surface area is what?
375.
What?
Wait, oh, wait.
726 square
726 meters
meters.
squared. So there's your surface area.